And next, we will move on to the first session of today, which will be a presentation on the recognizing the dynamic landscape of competency and experience transfer. Our extraordinary speaker is a former Deputy Minister of Education who encouraged and developed higher education in Thailand by supporting policies to the empowering competent manpower. He is currently an advisory board of the Faculty of Medicine, Siriraj Hospital, and the chairman of the National Reform Committee on Public Health. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Clinical Professor Emeritus Dr. Udom Kachintorn.
ครับ สวัสดีครับ Dear distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee for inviting me to join this very important topic today, especially for KMUTT, EU, and Chair. The micro-credential is quite a new tool in the Thai higher education. So I'm glad that today's meeting here in Bangkok, we have an expert on the micro-credential, especially from the EU that come to teach us or share with us with this important. For the next 30 minutes, I would like to share with you with the topic, the recognizing the dynamic landscape of competency and experience transfer. I would like to start with the situation now. We are in the world of disruption. In the past, you can see that we have a small gap between how we change in the blue line and how the world changed in the red line. But recently, you can see that how the world changed now is more exponentially. And the gap is bigger and bigger. And very soon, I'm sure that within your lifetime, you may see how the world change will be almost in a vertical fashion. So, we need that individuals, workforce in particular, institutions, and organizations have to keep up with the changing world. We have to disrupt ourselves before you get disrupted. In the World Economic Forum 2020, address the future of the jobs. The workforce now experiencing a major double disruption. First is COVID-19 pandemic are coming at the exact same time that many businesses are embracing the use of digital transformation and more automation. Despite high rates of jobs that are projected to be displaced in the coming years, business leaders are still prioritizing reskilling measures to retain their employees. They see value in keeping current employees and repurposing them, particularly in industry and roles with the public-private sector component. According to the World Economic Forum data, companies expect to reskill and repurpose nearly half of the workers that find themselves displaced by technology. To implement those strategies, we need triple helix: government, academia, and private sector or workplace to work in collaboration to build up knowledge, skill competency, experience, and transfer these things. Oh, I put the wrong button. And transfer this thing to each individual or workforce and to organization. And the key success factor of the transfer ecosystem is micro-credentials. Thanks to micro-credentials, I will elaborate more why I have to thank the micro-credentials. Since in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, more individuals than ever before have shown interest in non-traditional educational and skill training options, signaling a global trend from learners towards shorter, inexpensive alternatives to a standard degree education. Business now looking for low risk and affordable courses to upskill their workforce, and the individual job seeker and students seeking flexible learning opportunity for changing or furthering their careers have found a new and powerful learning route. Micro-credential can offer both individuals looking to enhance their career and business who wish to address skills shortage to meet the needs of their industry. As I mentioned, micro-credentials are still a relatively new learning alternative in our country, and also maybe in many countries in many parts of the world. But micro-credential benefits for both business and personal development. Micro-credentials, I would like to repeat that again, are a short, personalized, and often on-demand learning experience which teach students a range of skills and competency. Micro-credentials typically focus on a specific skill or career discipline and are completed over a number of days or weeks, leading to certification upon completion. Micro-credentials can involve accelerated additional educational experiences as well as flexible learning methods. In comparison to a degree, the micro-credential generally takes place over a significant shorter time period, offer a lower cost, and is more vocational in terms of subject area cover. By creating micro-credentials in conjunction with educational establishment, industries can play an active part in educating workforce in the specific skills that the industry is lacking, directly addressing their own skill gaps and other knowledge deficits. I think that micro-credentials offer a clear solution to those problems, as business are able to design and create courses either alone or in conjunction with the established educational provider which teach the specific skill their workforce is lacking. These short job-specific training courses can then be offered to existing employees or as an incentive to potential new employees, enabling business to build teams with highly skilled individuals with the exact talents, knowledge, and attributes needed for the business to succeed. Increasingly, business are learning the value of offering educational opportunity to their employees, from the incentivizing new recruits to retaining talents. Some institutions offer stackable micro-credentials, which, when multiple consecutive awards, enable students to earn increasingly high-level credentials. So how the micro-credential works? Micro-credentials are certification of assessed competencies that is additional, alternate, or complement to, or a component of a formal qualification. Offer a cost-effective route for employers who wish to invest in their employees' training according to the demands of the market, changing all the time, without risking investment in expensive long-term programs. Commonly, micro-credentials are offered as part of a partnership between business and education, combining the educational experience with the industrial knowledge. Skill sets can be kept relevant to the company or position, and employees can be brought up to speed on the latest trends, tools, and processes in the industry. If a wider knowledge base is required, students can keep building on their achievement through the study more micro-credentials. Right now, universities are increasingly offering these short certified courses alongside more traditional degrees and diplomas, while other professional bodies, corporations, and licensing organizations are progressively offering employees the chance to study for micro-credentials in their specific fields. There are few different ways which students can choose to study for their micro-credentials, from online to in-person to a blended learning approach. Deciding which route is the right one for you will depend on the course you would like to study, your personal commitments and schedule, your preferred learning style, and the learning opportunity available at your chosen institution. Many universities right now are addressing by modifying their curricular offering in order to empower individuals to drive their professional learning, including varied aspects. Micro-credentials can be competency-based. It accumulates discrete skills to support professional practice and the specific evidence, and individuals must submit to demonstrate their competence in that skill. Micro-credentials can be on demand. Individuals can start and continue their micro-credential journeys on their own time and in their own ways. Micro-credentials can be the culture of lifelong learning. In the midst of a talent shortage, micro-credentials offer an exciting and effective way to attract, train, and recognize employees, to exhibit a culture of lifelong learning. Micro-credential has emerged as an available option for them. The guiding principle for micro-credential, I put on this slide the very important 7 aspects of the guiding principle. First, micro-credentials can be complement to traditional credentials or stand alone. Micro-credentials are subject to a robust and rigorous quality assurance process. Micro-credentials should represent competency identified by employers, industry sectors to meet employer needs. Micro-credentials may provide clear and seamless pathway across different credentials, both non-credit and credits, and may be stackable. Micro-credentials are based on assessed proficiency of a competency, not on a time spent learning. Micro-credentials are secure, trackable, portable, and competency is documented in the student academic records. Last but not least, micro-credentials are to follow institutional approval process. These are the guiding principles for the micro-credential. To kick off a micro-credential program of their own, organizations should begin by identifying the critical skills and competency they need to upskill and reskill their workforce. Once they have that data, they can partner with the university that offer micro-credential aligned with their needs. University partner also connect employer with a potential talent pipeline that include new hires or ongoing employee development opportunities. This approach appeals to employees because they know they are earning credentials. Meanwhile, university can be proactive in partnering with companies by comparing the skill represented in their course offerings with the skill represented in organizations' job posting. This type of analysis helps university identify gaps between skill needed in the job market and skill they are currently teaching. So what makes a good micro-credential? Like any program, the micro-credential must meet the demands of both employer and learners. The valuable micro-credentials are flexible, address in-demand skills, and offer the ability to locate it into a degree program. There are three-step process to make a good micro-credential. First, you have to identify the problem you are trying to solve, whether it is a skill deficit or a more general personal development goal. Getting the faculty on board, conducting a market research, and consulting with business are key. Then, starting with the desired outcome, construct a series of learning experiences that are necessary for achieving the target outcomes. Design content tailored for the micro-credential rather than repurposing the existing content. Last, package these experiences in a format and time span that work for your target groups. These are the short list of the different training and educational methods. There are various ways that you can use, such as assignments, lectures and seminars, portfolios, assessment, conference, and demonstrable skill in a real-world setting. Students demonstrate the applicable job skill they have learned in a real-life context. Though we are promote more use of micro-credential, but I have to remind you that you have to stick in with the core concept of higher education. I think that's very important. Don't swing too far to another way, because the skill training or micro-credential cannot replace the higher education. You have to put the concept of higher education in the micro-credential course also when you decide. Yeah. Lastly, I would like to convince you that why you have to invest in micro-credentials. There are three key reasons. First, it will help you in the recruitment tool. Micro-credentials help you build a global brand awareness and showcase the expertise of your school. Students who pursue a credential at your school have added incentive to go to pursue a full degree program. You will recruit more students at your institution. Second, it will promote a lifelong learning. Micro-credential help change your relationship with your student from a 4-year transaction to a lifelong partnership by offering flexible courses focus on in-demand skill areas, you can engage alumni throughout their working lives. And last but not least, micro-credential will respond to the market satisfaction. Fundamentally, micro-credentials are respond to demand from business and learners for shorter, more flexible, online, skill-based courses. Another benefit is that stackable micro-credentials can be embedded into existing degree programs which many students now favor. So I hope that now we can recognize the dynamic landscape of competency and experience transfer through micro-credentials, which will benefit for both business and personal development. Thank you.